In this video, we'll review the HiredScore interface and explore the features that help recruiters prioritize candidates, streamline their workflow, and optimize the recruiting process. Let's start by becoming familiar with the HiredScore homepage. At the top, the Pending Actions dashboard provides you with pre-filled filters. This helps you focus on reviewing candidates quickly. These filters display the stages in the organization's job application process. As a recruiter, this means you get real-time alerts for candidates in advanced stages, so you can act quickly on candidates throughout the recruiting process. This can promote a positive candidate experience in keeping the process moving. When I hover over the stages, I can view the various next steps available for each stage. If I select one of the pending actions, I can view all the candidates in that stage where I'm the recruiter on the requisition. For now, let's continue reviewing the homepage by selecting the home icon in the side panel. To the right, the My Stats section displays a quick snapshot of various metrics. While you can't select a metric to view more detailed information, HiredScore offers quick visibility into the requisitions where you are the primary recruiter. This includes calculations for candidates in open requisitions in the news status for 7 or more days, requisitions pending review where fetch is available, the percent of fetch recommendations that haven't been viewed for 7 or more days, and any open requisitions that have been open for more than 60 days. Below, in the My Recs section, HiredScore lists all the requisitions a recruiter is responsible for. If I select the filter icon, I can view all the filtering options available. Selecting the star icon allows you to pin the requisition to the top for quick access. In the HS column, a check icon displaying means that HiredScore added grades for the applicants. From the navigation menu, I can also select the My Recs icon to navigate to this report. The My Recs dashboard displays the same report from the home page. However, I notice there are some additional filtering options available now. When I select a requisition, HiredScore displays the entire talent pool for this requisition, which is similar to a recruiter's inbox. For some candidates, I notice the HiredScore logo appears next to their name. This displays for potential candidates identified using Fetch. At the top, I notice 2 tabs, Applicants and Leads. On the Applicants tab, I have candidates that have applied directly to a requisition. On the Leads tab, you'll notice 2 sub-tabs, Fetch and Dynamic Fetch. Fetch displays the top 8 leads from the lead database based on matching job criteria. Here, you can filter leads by criteria such as status, degree, and distance. Additionally, you can review similar details in the grid, like their last job, status change date, and source, for example. When I choose one of the Fetch leads, their candidate profile displays some different options at the top. I now notice that I can contact the lead and invite them to apply to the requisition directly. I can also share the lead with the hiring manager for an additional review. Selecting the X icon removes them as a lead. Also, when I select the prompt icon, I'm able to update the Fetch status to either viewed or profile sent. You might also notice that these leads haven't been assigned a grade. This is because currently, they are passive leads. However, if they apply, HiredScore will immediately assign a grade. Because Fetch typically provides quality candidates, you can expect that most leads will receive an A or B grade. Dynamic Fetch allows recruiters to create their own custom filters and find ideal candidates from the lead database. When I select a Dynamic Fetch lead, at the top, I again notice some different options. For instance, in the More menu, I can now choose to save this lead to another job rec. I can also select the check icon to convert this lead to a Fetch lead, which saves them to my Fetch list for further engagement. Back on the Applicants tab, I notice Job Application Stage filters. Each one displays the number of candidates in this requisition who are at that specific point in the hiring process. These allow recruiters to view and dynamically manage all their applicants. You can select a stage to view those candidates. Then, you can select the Applicants tab to return to the full candidate list. On the right, I notice a diversity view icon. At any stage in a requisition, I can view the diversity metrics in real time. This helps me determine if my organization is on the right track towards targeted metrics and proactively bridge diversity gaps. I can apply filters to view how they adversely or positively impact the rates and create a diverse impact. I'll select Table View to return to my list of candidates. Now, let's explore the MyRecs report in more detail. One of the first elements I notice is the hired score grade that appears next to each candidate. Think of the grades as a guideline that helps you decide which candidates to screen first. HiredScore analyzes every candidate. Then it grades them based on how well they match the requirements defined in the job requisition. This significantly reduces screening time by helping you prioritize who to review. The grades are a helpful tool. However, the grades do not directly tell you who to hire. A candidate with a C grade can still be a great fit. Their grade might just mean that they didn't meet every requirement that a grade A candidate met, like a specific degree, distance, or certain skills. On the left of the screen, I have smart filters I can use to quickly help narrow down the candidates that meet the criteria I need. For example, I can filter by candidates that have a particular degree. Then, I can further narrow down the candidate list by selecting additional criteria. I can also choose to update candidate actions in bulk. For example, updating candidate status or sharing candidates. Now that I've narrowed my candidates, I'll select one to view their candidate profile. The HiredScore Smart Candidate Profiles provide a unified view of a candidate's data and AI insights. From the Overview tab, the Insights subtab displays the AI-generated insights detailing why a candidate received their grade. HiredScore bases these insights on their resume and any additional data the candidate provided. Some insights appear in green text. This indicates a hyperlink that takes you directly to that information in the candidate's overview. The Description tab shows the details for the requisition that they applied to, next to a parsed resume view. This allows you to make quick comparisons when evaluating the candidate. History captures data that can help inform recruiters. For example, if a candidate is a referral, past applicant, their most advanced status, or their rejection disposition. In this example, while the candidate is graded as an A, they might also be a good fit for another role. You can select recommendations to view other open jobs the candidate might be a good match for. Then I can choose to recommend them or contact them via email. After reviewing this candidate, I decided to change their grade to B. I can select the grade icon at the top and then choose another grade. I'll also need to identify a reason for changing the grade. At the top, when I select the More icon, I can view additional actions that I can take on this candidate. This includes actions like sending their profile to the hiring team, sharing their profile, or changing their grade, among others. I can also choose to approve or reject the candidate. If you have a Workday integration, when you select Submit, the status updates in both HiredScore and Workday. Selecting the prompt icon gives me more control where the candidate will progress next. From here, I can choose the exact next step for the candidate or a specific disposition reason. However, you should note that if you have a Workday integration, while the status updates in both Workday and HiredScore, you cannot complete some steps in HiredScore. For example, while the status might update to schedule interview in HiredScore, you must return to Workday to actually schedule the interview. Finally, the step field displays the candidate's current status. And when I'm ready to view the next candidate, I can easily select the next arrow to view the next profile. Now that we've covered the job requisition dashboard, from the navigation menu, let's select the Pending Actions icon. This page shows the detailed report that feeds the Pending Actions section on your home page. Again, you have the option to filter this report and use the stage filters at the top. From the navigation menu, select Talent Search. Global Talent Search is a sourcing tool that allows you to search your company's database of previous applicants and CRM leads. This allows you to resurface relevant leads with the characteristics, experience, and skills you need for your open requisitions. You can view and act on leads from their smart profile. The Reverse Fetch Recommendations tab indicates if the lead you're reviewing is relevant for any open roles at your company. You can also add leads to the fetch inbox of any open requisitions at your company, or invite them to apply via your company's career site. Although this video won't cover it in detail, the report icon allows admins to view the HiredScore self-service reporting feature. This provides access to your organization's data and visibility into HiredScore license usage on both the high level and per user. Now that you've explored the HiredScore interface and its features, you're ready to effectively prioritize candidates, streamline your workflow, and optimize the recruiting process.